The official sequel to Moana will hit theaters on November 27, 2024. Ultimately, Moana 2 will have the chance to delve into fresh and fascinating narratives starring its adored ensemble of characters, including the most intriguing question of all, are Moana and Maui dating? Disney's 56th animated feature film Moana featured the first appearances of Moana and Maui. In addition to being the film's central characters, they also make excellent representations of platonic relationships. Moana is the film's main heroine, and she, along with Maui, is critical to saving the ocean and all of the islands from giving in to bitter gloom and fated life. Moana had a deep, unwavering love and admiration for the ocean from the time she was a very small child. As she grew older, she learned to travel and make new, exciting discoveries, as well as show her father, the chief, that crossing the ocean was not as dangerous as he may have previously believed. She sets out on one of her ancestors' boats, ready to embark on an exciting and thrilling journey to discover her destiny and the reason the ocean chose her. After getting support and guidance from her now sadly deceased adored grandmother. On her quest to save the islands from tragedy to hopelessness, Moana encounters a number of perils, challenges, and barriers. Fortunately, she is not alone in these struggles. Maui and Moana now grow closer over time, despite Moana's initial opinion of him being conceited and egocentric. Maui, the film's deuteragonist, helps Moana in a special way with his flamboyant charm and conceited demeanor. He shields her from harm and helps her battle the cunning Kakamora. He also teaches her how to navigate by reading the stars in the sky. He confided in Moana about his early years, when his parents abandoned him in the sea and gods raised him, causing him to define his own worth by the hook. Moana emphasized with him, telling him that the hook did not make him Maui and that the gods must have thought he was someone deserving of saving. Maui grew more friendly with Moana, and she assisted him in regaining his ability to wield the hook's powers. Moana lost all faith and confidence in herself as a result of the difficulties she and Maui had with one another. Fortunately, her beloved grandmother appears as a ghost and a manta ray spirit to reassure Moana of her identity and the fact that the ocean picked her for a very special reason. After Moana's terrible failed attempt to defeat Kai, Maui ran away and lost all hope for himself, Moana, and the mission itself. This was because his magical fish hook, which fed all of his epic demigod powers, was almost broken. Fortunately, though, he had a change of heart and beliefs, and he came back with his brittle and almost destroyed fish hook. He gave up his last remaining skills with the fish hook to help save our girl Moana discover the truth behind Ka's lava of pure hate and anger. Many fans of the movie like to place Moana and Maui in a romantic pairing known as the Hooked Wayfinder.
Maui is the hero to all. You're doing great.
Despite the fact that their relationship goes beyond the platonic level in the movie and that she is a 16-year-old human and he is a 1,000-year-old demigod. As I mentioned earlier, I think Moana and Maui have a very platonic relationship. In case you were unaware, platonic relationship compromises a love and/or friendship that isn't exclusively romantic. Think of it as a very strong link and relationship that doesn't involve romance but nevertheless denotes a close bond and relationship driven by trust, sincere love, and concern. Nevertheless, Moana and Maui's relationship is also fairly accurate to how friendships actually seem in real life. They frequently argue about little or big things, which eventually leads to breaking up with each other only to hug, apologize, and become friends again. A significant portion of the film Moana centers on how their friendship and trust developed despite obstacles like miscommunication or problems. The lesson of discovering who you really are inside and beneath your external appearances is, of course, the film's more important central moral. Throughout the most important part of the film, Moana's torn between her intense love for the ocean and her aspirations to become a skilled wayfinder and voyager, and her deep concern for her village, family, and the people of Motunui. With an extremely difficult and tragic past that includes being abandoned by his own parents before being miraculously saved by the gods, Maui has also struggled sprinkled with self-doubt. Though he isn't flawless and exhibits fear, he longs to be loved and admired by everyone, whether they have known him or not. He stole Te Fiti's heart, allowing his ambition to give the better of him. He gave the reason that he wanted to give it to mortals on the other side of the ocean. He is initially reluctant to assist Moana in her efforts to return the heart to its proper owner and location, but he eventually agrees to do so. The fact that Moana and Maui have similar personalities and are unsure of who they are at the heart is what I find so endearing about their relationship throughout the film. Despite all of their differences and shortcomings, Moana and Maui have a great friendship. They collaborate to get Maui's fish hook back from Tamatoa and fight together early in the film against the evil Kakamora. They eventually give up something, Maui specifically, in order to help one another save the islands and oceans that are in danger of going extinct. They both discover during their across the ocean voyage that no one can truly define who you are, only you have that authority. Many claim that Moana is not as good as many Disney films, and while I can agree with that in some cases, let's also remember how important these beautiful lessons are and how remarkably realistic Moana and Maui's relationship is. When Moana and Maui first met, and for a while until the middle of the film, they were sort of hated rivals. Naturally, as time passes and they start to respect one another, they gradually but undoubtedly become close friends and allies. Just like in many other relationships, when it's finally time to vanquish Te Kā, Moana notices something inside the lava demon monster. Moana is incredibly empathetic and willing to see herself for what she believes to be true, that Te Kā is more than meets the eye, instead of trying to fight or violently attack the monster. When Moana begs him to let Te Kā visit her, Maui is a little taken aback, but he grants them permission to visit Moana. Trust and belief are two more important components of friendships, so I believe that the reason for this is that he believes Moana will act morally. Ultimately, I really admire and love the friendship and relationship that Maui and Moana have. One is full of adventure, platonic love that is sincere, and most importantly, an ambition to discover their own identities and purposes. Most remarkably, there is no overtly romantic exchanges between Maui and Moana. Their relationship does not exhibit the same behaviors as romantic Disney couples. Their friendship remains strictly platonic. This sets them apart from Disney couples who express their emotions via these sentimental cliches. Thus, it appears that Maui and Moana will always be just friends. The movie doesn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were supposed to be viewed as a romantic couple, even though some fans might hope for more. Finally, since the filmmakers deliberately chose to center the narrative around Moana's voyage of self-discovery and her connections to her heritage rather than a romantic subplot, Disney has refrained from making any official declaration that Maui and Moana are a couple. Some argue that even though their relationship didn't materialize during the events of the movie, it might at some point in the future. Considering that Moana is still a young girl in the film, her friendship may develop over time. Their chemistry offers a startling point. Fans conjecture that they might get back together in the future, maybe getting married and falling in love. This ensembles them to date while honoring Moana's age in the movie. Although Maui and Moana in the movie have a very meaningful relationship, the movie does not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were meant to be seen as a romantic couple. Their emphasis on Moana's quest and lack of overtly romantic gestures suggest that they are close friends rather than a couple. However, fans are still enthralled with the potential of their chemistry and are sharing their own extra film adventures with the characters. Their relationship doesn't have to develop into a serious romance in order to enhance the coming-of-age narrative in the film. The portrayal of their interactions allows viewers to enjoy them and determine whether the demigod and the future chief are a good fit. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.